So right now, if you understood what you are going to do, you just pick up any one card. All right. Beautiful. You asked me what is going to happen, right? Or rather, what I am going to do. Over the years of maybe about 4 decades of research in creativity, originality, genius, and such higher order intellects meaning potentialities of the human entity, I have devised certain so-called unique strategies to invoke or to trigger or to inspire the higher order or the greater engines, greater potentials, greater engines meaning like the engine of attention, the engine of thinking, the engine of reflection, the engine of intuition, and so on and so forth. Certain unique strategies. And I have chosen you to undergo this. I have chosen you. It is not that it is a standard practice that whoever is coming for training program, of course people do not come for training program, only select people are accepted for this level of training program, because it is about triggering so-called originality and genius and so on and so forth. So I have chosen to make you enter into this method of understanding whatever you are going to understand, because by interacting with you for about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, I clearly sensing, like touch sense, like the visual sense, like the hearing sense. I have sensed that you happen to be a very extraordinary being. And definitely I am very convinced that the human population follow a normal distribution. A normal distribution curve. Normal distribution is a concept, one of the top concepts in statistics. It's a normal distribution curve. It's a bell-shaped curve, which data can be plotted on this graph, and then the graph will follow roughly what's called a bell curve. That normal distribution curve is also called a bell curve because it's bell-shaped. So maybe I would say very unfortunately, human beings follow that normal distribution pattern in their evolution to reach their completeness, to reach their blooming. Blooming, I mean every tree, every plant, every bird, every cat in this planet Earth, they are also born, and every item, including every blade of grass in this planet Earth, reaches its full bloom, full completeness. But unfortunately, for various reasons, of course, we can understand those reasons. Very, very rarely human beings reach their complete blooming. Like every tree comes into its full blooming, but by this normal distribution curve, actually speaking, only 0.03%, that means roughly 30 people out of 10,000 human beings reach that blooming state. And I realized that you are one of that 30, that 0.03% of the normal distribution. Therefore, I have chosen you to undergo a unique way of developing certain significant knowings, KNOWINGS, significant conceptual understandings. So what will happen is, this pack of cards. Cards meaning, okay, anything of this shape can be called a pack of cards, okay? And There are roughly about numbered about 500 cards in this. These were all actually the visiting cards of my first institution, which I started at Ahmedabad when I was doing my doctoral research at IIM Ahmedabad. I created my first institution called School for Creative Perspective. It started way back in 1989. So I had a lot of cards like that. So I have written certain significant concepts or keywords in that, and you will be randomly selecting totally minimum 3 to maximum 9 cards. Okay, just to pick out one, and whatever is in that card is in my calculation will contain your entry. Okay. For example, in the great forest you can enter through many ways. Into the world of your intellect, world of your wisdom. So right now, if you understood what you are going to do, you just pick up any one card. All right. Beautiful. All right. Second card. Right. One more card. All right, brilliant. So we'll begin with the first set of 3 cards. Okay. I told you, I actually began by telling about my own wonder, that I am one of the very, very few people in the whole world, tens of thousands of great researchers. I am the one who spent about 30, 35, 40 years just to investigate the wonder of the human being. And that kind of a me said that I sensed you as an extraordinary person, therefore you undergo this training. And the most evidence that I am right is the first card which you have taken. There are 500 cards. This is the only one card which is empty on both the sides. That means you are an absolutely marvelous person, absolutely innocent, absolutely open for anything. Your mind is not at all corrupt. Actually speaking, you're almost a pure child. And it means a great lot of things. According to all the philosophers are supreme beings, ancient philosophers of the East, of India, China, Japan, as well as the great philosophers of the West, Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Nietzsche, and so on and so forth, hundreds of them. And especially according to the great field of psychology, the human beings begin with what they call an empty slate, EMPTY-SLAT. In the original language, they called all right, sir, agreed. Tabula rasa, TABULARASA, which is, I suppose, Latin or whatever to mean empty slate. And this normal distribution which I said, the tragedy as well as the wonder of the human being, which is the normal distribution, is happening because every human being is born as an empty slate. when every cat or every bird or every plant is born with the programs on how to evolve, which is automatically unfolded. That's why every cat is a cat, is a cat. Whereas a human being is born as an empty slate, and what a human being ultimately will become depends upon what is going to be written on that empty slate at the time of birth. So both symbolically as well as I would say, I am really mesmerized. I am really thrilled about me to identify the wonder of you, which I declared you much before this happened. And I am so happy to come across a person like you, to have taken this card out of some 475 plus cards. Good luck. All right.